welcome back to another Chart Nerd TA video. So today we're looking at Metahero, and here potentially, if we get a breakout of this trend line of resistance, we are going to start to see a new leg up for Metahero. Now, I think Metahero has had a lot of slate over its name as Rob Grin passed the foundation, basically his CEO position over to somebody else, and is taking prime objective in Everdome. But what people fail to realize is that Metahero and Everdome are basically symbiotic, and I think they need each other to kind of work and to get formation and things done in regards to the roadmap and the layout of the project moving forward. So looking at some TA here for Metahero on the weekly time frame, guys, here we've got this resistance line, okay, that's continuously been on our heads, and we're getting rejected by every time you see Hero run into this point. Now, currently speaking, you could say that we are again pulling back off of this point, but you can see that we're trying multiple times here to get back above and have been forced back up. So right now, what we need to see, okay, if you start to see Hero, do something like this and start to break out and hold this as support, and you start to coil up in some sort of ascending level of support. Right now, this right here could be the foundational low for Hero, and you're looking to break out. I mean, the likes of Algorand already, have and a lot of projects have got a strong level of resistance on them that they've had for many moons now, since back in last year November, and some altcoins, especially metaverse tokens, some metaverse coins, NFT projects, etc., have crashed ridiculously. Okay, but looking at the fundamentals and the foundation of these projects and what they offer moving forward, I think it will take time. And if you can look back at a lot of alts, and some alts do go through mad downsides like this. Okay, when you come into the peak of a bull market, a project gets released in the bull market, the bear market comes, it gets absolutely battered. Okay, so for us to have any sort of hope here, we do need to see the break of this trend line, okay, because this just gives the confirmation sign that right now, okay, potentially the lows are in, and you're looking to come up and start retesting previous areas of support and retesting them as resistance. Okay, so it's a long journey ahead, but just get this on your charts, guys, because if you see the breakout, it just gives you your confirmation that you're looking to start reversing to the upside again. Okay, because it's a strong trend line of resistance, a very strong trend line of resistance, but we will monitor this moving forward. Now, going back into the daily time frame here, okay, you can see again, look at the confluence of this resistance line right here. Okay, look how much confluence there is of when you're running into it and continuously getting rejected. This period right here that you can see Hero is going through has actually been the longest durational period of time since the start of this downside, that it's actually running into this trend line as resistance. Okay, so it's really trying to get through here. Okay, and what we need to see is just a firm breakthrough, just some sort of push through, a nice level of pump with good volume, and looking to start retracing to previous support levels and turn them into resistance. Okay, and just look to get a nice sort of leg up and out of the woods to start retracing. Okay, so even on the daily time frame, you can see it here. How much confluence there is that this trend line is so strong in resistance. Okay, so zooming in, we're going to zoom into this little patch right here. Okay, on the daily time frame, we're going to zoom into this right now, and what you can see right now is potentially you're starting you're holding a horizontal level of support here, and at the moment I think you could be potentially in some sort of pullback, because you've had this nice leg up. Right now you're coiling up like this, you're getting lower highs, squeezed into the corner, and equally you're getting squeezed by this resistance. Okay, and potentially you could be looking to go short to find a higher level of support, but I would expect a higher low to be put in, and if you do start to come up and eventually tackle this with an ascending level of support, okay, you're going to coil up and eventually start to break out. And again, once you break that trend line, I think this is where the retracement basically starts. And as I said, you'll be coming up to previous levels of support that you ran into resistance, lost, and you're going to come back up here, hold support, maybe form a higher low, break out, and start to retrace back up to these previous levels of support and turn them to resistance, come back, form even a higher low, and then you just start to form a big sort of ascending structural level of support and a foundational support. I've said the same for Everdome, guys. Okay, Everdome's had the low, it's pumped back up, and right now it's looking and holding a retracement, trying to break out. Okay, Hero right now is still in the same sort of pattern that Dome was in before it lost support and came down to a higher low. So we just want to see some sort of higher ascending support here. Okay, if you do start to retrace, you just have to say from this high retracing to this low, okay, that potentially what the technical target I think might be is the 0618 or the 702. So you've got this descending triangle potentially, okay. If you do start to come down and lose the support of that, you can see that really and truly you're on your way back down to these lower targets down here, okay, the golden ratio, or i.e. the 702, and at which point you would have a higher low on that structurally. And if you did hold support there, you can see that from that low, you're potentially coiling up in some sort of larger ascending triangle, okay, because what you'll have is, I'll take the fib off in a sec, okay, if you do fall to that 0618 area, and you can see that potentially what's going on here is you're coiling up in some sort of larger ascending triangle where you've got this, let's get this trend line out of the way, you're basically just coiling up in some sort of large ascending triangle over time, looking for the breakout. Okay, and once you get the breakout of this resistance and confirm that as support, that's when you're looking to go long. Okay, and at the same time, you'll be breaking out of this trend line that we've been under for many moons. Okay, so right now, okay, this does look like quite a bearish pattern to me. You've got lower highs coming down on your head. Okay, you're basically coming down. If you fail to break this trend line, again, do look for a pullback to support to the 0618 or the 702. Okay, because from this high, you're currently retracing to this low. Right now you're coming down, you're coiling down. If you do lose support, go short, okay, and look for the ascending support on this trend line, and equally the 0618 and the 702. Okay, but if we do start to break out here, okay, start to coil up and do something like this and work our way back up to this level, okay, you could potentially say, again, you've got a low, you'd have a higher low here, and then you're looking for a break, okay, but I do expect resistance at this point, and potentially you could come back down and find another higher level of support somewhere along the line. So there's a lot at stake here, a lot at stake. What you just got to consider is we need to break through this trend line. Okay, this is such an important trend line to break. If you start to see the break of this trend line and the hold of support and a nice breakout with volume up into resistance, okay, do expect a higher level of support pullback, and potentially, as I've said, you're just coiling up in some lovely structure, looking for higher support and a level of resistance we need to break. So essentially what we want to see, again, guys, is just a hold of this sort of range. Okay, just stay in this sort of range, because if you do start to break out of this trend line and you do start to do something like this, where you lose support, you find a higher low, you break out of the trend line and run into that as resistance, okay, you're breaking out, again, as we keep saying, you're breaking out of a massive trend line that you've been under of resistance for many moons. So yeah, guys, that's basically a quick update for you today on Metahero. I hope you enjoyed today's content. In the short term, I am looking for some sort of pullback here to a higher low, okay, and then looking to break out of this trend line. Once you get the confirmational break, okay, I do think you'll potentially retest these highs, and as I said, you could create some sort of structural bottoming out pattern and down here for Hero. So yeah, guys, that's basically just a bit of a zoomed out perspective. Okay, that trend line I think is very important. If you do see the break of it and you do see a strong push through with good volume, then guys, do look for a nice long opportunity on Metahero for the coming last quarter of the year. So yeah, not financial advice, guys. What I say today is only for educational and entertainment purposes only. Until next time, from Chart Nerd TA, peace out.